Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak, and got a little fast count there to begin the show. They're keeping us on our toes there. So today, fast main track, firm turf course. We got a nice carryover, keeps building. I've got about the $62,000 plus into Rainbow Six. It starts in race number 5. And don't forget, if this thing keeps building, next weekend on Saturday, it's mandatory payout day. Last time we had a mandatory payout, there was $2 million in it. We'll see how that goes, but you have that chance to take this thing down today. It's only a 20-cent wager, and it's the last 6 races on the card to pick 5, of course, the last 5. As I mentioned, a fast main track, firm turf course today. Sun is out. It's a typical South Florida summer day, even though it's fall.
Even though it's fall. We just had the first day of fall the other day, and I saw a picture online. It had a beautiful picture of a beach. It was very sunny. It said last day of summer in South Florida. Underneath was another picture of a beautiful sunny beach, and it said first day of fall in South Florida.
There's not much of a change. You know, before we delve into the Friday card, let's see what's tweeting around the country out there in Twitterville. And the first one we're going to see is, hey, Wildcat Red.
Our hometown horse, Wildcat Red, is up at Belmont Park. He has become quite the traveler, Red. He's been all over the country this summer. Now he's at Belmont, and he ran pretty gamely last time out in the Forgo at Saratoga. I believe he was 4th. And now I think he's got a solid shot in the Vosburg, another Grade 1 tomorrow. He's looking to earn a spot in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Yeah, you get the feeling that he's coming back to the top again. You know, it took him a while. He had that injury. It took him a while to get back, but he did run really well at Saratoga last time out. Another one we're going to look at, Shared Belief back on the training trail now.
Well, this is fantastic news for racing. Shared Belief, a gelding, the champion 2-year-old a couple years back, and kind of been overshadowed by another California horse. Well, a couple actually, California Chrome and American Pharaoh, but he actually fractured his hip in the beginning of a race earlier this year. They're taking their time with him, but I saw a video of him jogging the other day, and he looked just fantastic.
What I always liked about Shared Belief, he's owned in part by TV host Jim Rome, who hated horse racing until he bought into this horse. Now he loves horse racing, so I like the change. So he's a good ambassador for horse racing now. It only takes one champion to do that. A third horse we want to talk about, well, it's not a horse. It's about Ralph Nix. You know, his big, unbelievable 6-race winning streak ended here in Florida, but he won up in Belmont yesterday. When one ended, the other one started.
He did. You know what? Not only did he win with all 5 of his starters on Sunday, but he actually had a win the previous day, Saturday, at the end of the day, to lead him into 6 wins in a row. That streak ended yesterday, as many good things do. They end, but you know what? Like you said, it picked right up. He got a new horse in the barn, Skipaloot, that was having some trouble. Wins first start for Nix.
Well, let's get right into Friday's card now. As we mentioned, fast main track, firm turf course. The first race, 5 furlongs on the grass, maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Scratch the morning line favorite in here, and that's number 1, Pam Pam. A couple of unpublished workouts that you will get from Pete later on. One is for C. Charlie Run, and the other one from Ringer Rosie. They both worked at the Olympic Hill Training Center, but Pete will update you on all that stuff in here. Katie, scratch of, I know I had the number 1, Pam Pam on top. Did you scratch into the horse you put in second, Spring Me?
I did, absolutely. And I took Spring Me because I think the way this race is going to shape out, I think he's going to get a really nice stalking trip in here. He was 3rd, only 2 lengths behind Pam Pam, the horse that we both really liked last time out. That was on the 11th. And I think she's going to be at her best as she makes her 3rd start of her current form cycle. She was definitely happy to be back on the turf course last time out as she rebounded from a double-digit defeat on the main track in August.
Yeah, we basically got the 3 horses that look like they're the logical choices in there. And if you look at the board right now, the current favorite very early in the wagering is the 4, This one is turned back to 5/8 after opening that quick 2-length lead before faltering to get beat. Got beat double-digit lengths in there, but it was by a repeat winner called Hadar. Mike Petro claimed his horse 2 starts back. Edgar Zayas in the saddle. I just think there's improvement there. Second off the claim and turning back in distance.
Absolutely. Petro is 22% when turning horses back from routes to sprints in claiming races in the past year. But this is what I found interesting. He's only 8% when doing so on the turf. That's maybe why I gave a little bit more of an edge to Spring Me.
And Incognita is going to turn back, showed speed last time out, and then drop back. It looked like the logical horse to be 3rd in there. You never know. Might steal that opening event. Race number 2 today, 1 mile claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. 1 jockey change arranging the race on the number 6, Make the Rider, Alex Gonzalez. And Katie, you went with the 8 horse in here, Dos de Bastos.
I think this race is really intriguing, and I'm not sure what to make of it because I don't know how formful it's going to be because a lot of the contenders are coming back off a very short rest. I chose Dos de Bastos because I think this 4-year-old gelding seems to boast the best combination of form and freshness. He was 3rd behind repeat winner Chillin' Dillon last time out on September 6th. That was off almost a 2-month layoff, so I think he should be hitting his best stride today.
Well, keeping with the Chillin' Dillon theme, I went with the 4 Bluegrass Jam, who's a popular sort, claimed in 4 of his last 6 recent races. Stretches out for the new connections today. That's owner trainer Angel Rodriguez. Duel for the lead, settled for second behind hard-knocking repeat winner, as you mentioned, Chillin' Dillon last night, who seems to be the common thread in here. And we both used the number 2 horse in here, Help a Rye.
He ran the race of his life 2 starts back, led wire to wire. Then he ran 4th on Saturday, but this is going to be his debut at a mile.
We're going to go to race number 3 today. 1 mile claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, or 3-year-olds. The claiming tag is $12,500. 6 runners in this field. Katie, you went with the number 1 in here, and that is Sol Fatala.
From the Larry Bates barn, she has definitely improved her form since returning to the main track in August. She was 2nd in her debut at a mile on August 7th, then drew off by almost 5 lengths at this level and distance on September 4th. But she's not going to be alone on the lead today. She's going to have to deal with Tormenta de Oro, so we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I went with the 3 horse in here, and that is, I think it's G Go. Only 3-time winner in the field. Moved to the Efren Loza Junior Bond via the claim after drawing clear to defeat the $6,250 condition claimers, going 6.5 furlongs. That was back on August 6th. Trainer Loza is really good with new claims, about 25%. Pedro Cutto Jr. handling the stretch out today, 2 a mile. I just thought it was the logical choice. We basically have an agreement here with the 2 Mimi's Dream. You did not use on your ticket, and that's the one I had. Must be respected on her ability. I think she can secure a stalking trip. You mentioned the speed in here. I think this one might end up sitting a nice trip. She's actually the morning line favorite in the race.
Yeah, I did not have the morning line favorite in here. We'll see how that plays out, especially with the leading rider there on that mount. But I threw in the 5, Tormenta de Oro. 3rd in her first start off the claim for Louis Duca last time out. She's never finished off the board at this distance.
Well, let's go to race number 4, and we're back on the turf. It's 7.5 furlongs. These are maiden claimants, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. We do have a scratch in here, and number 7, that is Toro Femi. I want to go back and show you the performance of a horse that I put on my ticket today, and that is the 6 Ill. I put it right on top, 10-1 in the morning line. And this horse was, basically, you see it there, eliminated at the start. Really didn't get a chance. That was against Maiden Special Weight coming here. You're going to see it again with the head on, and it's the number 7 there. And it just, hits the gate at the start, just gets knocked sideways. So I put a line through that. Now we're going to start anew. And what we do when we start anew, this was getting some immediate class relief today and wearing blinkers after losing all chance, I thought, when she hit the gate, broke slowly. That was against Maiden Special Weight competition, going 5 furlongs. Dolly Bostwick, if you don't know of her, she's from the Tampa Bay area. She does a good job. Juan Labor handling the combination today. Serious drop down and a stretch out in distance. So, like a first-time starter for me at the $12,500 level.
Absolutely. You have to have her on the ticket somewhere. My only concern is why such a big drop coming out of a Maiden Special Weight?
I think maybe they didn't know, that just was a race. They tried it. All of this is guesswork. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So we're trying to guess.
To find the right level.
I think, with that said, the logical horse is the horse you do have on top, and that's the 4 Starship Bellagio.
Well, she has definitely responded since dropping this level, and I think she is finding that this is her appropriate competition level. 4th at the level and distance last time out for trainer Steve Dwowskin. There's another horse in here that we both used, Dee's Causeway, who I think might be more accomplished, but I thought this one in Starship Bellagio might have a freshness edge.
Well, there's a horse in here that certainly knows its way around the turf course, and that is the number 1, Dee's Causeway. 7 for 11 in the money on the Gulfstream turf. Now goes back to the grass, hitting the board in 1 of 2 races, moved from the lawn to 7 furlongs on the sealed sloppy track. This one has been dodging raindrops for the last couple of starts, but 7 for 11 in the money. Horse that I think you got to have somewhere on your exacta trifecta ticket.
Completely agree. Last time out I said she's going to be so happy to get back on the turf, and the poor thing had her race rained off the grass again, so I think definitely improvement coming from this one today.
And 7 for 11, that's a pretty nice stat. So we're race number 5 this afternoon. We mentioned is where the Rainbow Six starts, and that has just about $63,000 $20,000 around there in the pool. It's the last 6 races on the card. As you know, it's the 20-cent wager, and we're going to start it off with a 6-furlong maiden claimer, fillies and mares, 3 and up, 20 down to 16, clean slate, no scratches, no jockey changes to report. Katie and I have our exacta flip-flop. You went with the one, Fly Me to Dubai.
She's improved with every start she's made thus far, and she really responded when dropping out of a maiden special weight last time for Gustavo Delgado. Finished an even third when running for a $30,000 tag. That was on August 29th. Beaten 7.5 lengths, but the winner that day was a runaway. She was only a length from second. Seems to do her best running fresh. She's kind of shown a pattern of racing off a 6-week to 2-month layoff. So I think she's due for her best effort today, but in this Rainbow Six, you must also have the 6.
Yeah, how's my goal is dropping to the $20,000 level after finishing second in 3 consecutive sprints, but that was against better, which includes that recent second place finish behind a repeat winner called Look Into My Eyes, and that was at the $35,000 level. Good connections, Kathleen O'Connell, Luis Figueroa in the saddle today. Her 2 main riders, Eddie Nunez and Luis Figueroa. So I just thought this horse on the drop, Kathleen O'Connell does an excellent job, is the one to beat in there, but of course I'm going to have the one, Fly Me to Dubai, and then you use the number 7, and that is Mountain Lion.
Returned from a 13-month layoff to finish second last time out for trainer Ron Pellegrini. Going to get the blinkers removed today for a second start back from the layoff, and also dropping out of main special weight.
Well, I'm going to shine up the crystal ball again and see if I can get the number 5 series song to do anything today. Now in the Ralph Nix barn. So right away, you perk up, right? Because he's been having a fantastic meeting. He's our leading trainer. It's a daughter of Exchanger. It makes her first start since facing a pair of next out stakes winners called Red Sachet and Navajo Kitten. The reason they were both next out stakes winners, they won in a dead heat in that stake race. But it was last September. That's where the guesswork comes in. Trainer Nix, he's about 16% with new additions to his barn. Lasix, Tyler Gaffleone, who rode those 5 winners for him here, the other day on Sunday. So it's a bit of a get work there, but this barn has been so good that I had to use him on my ticket.
Yeah, 5-2, second choice on the morning line. That's maybe the only thing I don't like about that one, with some questions mark, but obviously those connections you cannot ignore.
Right. Let's go to race number 6, and this is where the pick 5 kicks in. 7.5 furlongs on the grass, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and upward. We have a scratch of the 7, 10, and the number 11 in this race. And we want to go back and show you a performance from August 13 of the horse that both Katie and I have on top of our ticket, and that is Never Give In.
A life motto, never give in. I thought this horse ran pretty well last time out. Going to make a 4-wide bid, you see here. Looking for room in between horses, doesn't get it, and fans out quite wide. Then makes a nice little rally. He's going to duel with his stablemate and finish second. You see here, still coming on. You don't think this horse is going to get anywhere close to being a neck from the win, but he actually does. I love the way he closes. He just misses to his stablemate, and I think a repeat of that effort should get him the win today.
Yeah, it looked like he really enjoyed running on a turf course. He was just gobbling it up there at the end, and he really closed very well. The horse I have in second, Katie, is the horse you have in third, and that's One Summer Night, making his first start since showing promise on the turf here. Was during the championship meeting during January and February. Chad Stewart, Jose Caraballo atop this gelded son of Langford, another horse coming off a layoff, but ran really well here during, when the championship meet. There's some really top horses here, so I think this horse holding its own finds a really nice spot to come back into action.
And Chad Stewart, he's done pretty well. 2 for 3 at this meet, including wins of the Miami Mile and the Jackson Bend Stakes. So he knows what spot to put these horses in.
Who else do you use?
I used the 5, Captain Keon. He also ran second to Better Run Real Fast that we just showed you in that last race. In his last start, returned from a 9-month layoff to finish 4th here on August 13th. Showed speed, which I liked. Understandably got tired off that layoff. My only concern, 0 for 16.
Well, let me tell you about the 6 horse in here. First Place Flirt. This one is stepping up today at the maiden special weight competition. Look at its last race. Set the pace, got caught late. It was a $50,000 maiden event going a mile in the 16th. It was here on July 11th. Ronnie Werner's the trainer, Eddie Castro. This is a 3-year-old son of Warriors Reward, and I think this horse, I almost see it as a lateral move to step up in competition, and because you like your horse with speed, I think this horse has tactical speed and might be able to be somewhere on the ticket. And what I like the most, it's 10-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, and you know what? Speed played very well in the turf course yesterday.
Yeah, and also on Sunday, so it's not Sunday, but yeah, Sunday. Sunday, I'm thinking of that we had another day's work there, but Sunday, yes. So speed has been good, and after the rains, when we came back on the turf, speed has been really good on the turf course. Race number 7 is a 7-furlong sprint. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $10,000, 8 in the field with no scratches or jockey changes. Katie, you went with the number 6, and on top of your ticket, a Drimmer. We have the same tribe, just boxed differently. So let's hear about Drimmer.
Well, I can understand why you do not have Drimmer on top, because he is 0 for 22, and he's had his chances before, but I think he might have found the perfect spot to break his elusive maiden today. He was a solid second, well beaten by a runaway winner, but very well clear of the show horse last time out, which happens to be another horse we have on the ticket, Indie Artist, and I think he just might be a little bit better suited to the 7/8 distance today than that rival.
Well, I put the house horse on top, and that's number 3, Super Zapper. This one is dropping to the $10,000 level, adding blinkers. Stalked early last time out, failed to show much in the late stages, but that was in a pair of $35,000 maiden sprints. Ramon Morales is the trainer, and 7-pound apprentice John Cruz named to ride, and just on the drop, and I just thought maybe this horse had a shot. And we're basically, I think if you can, you go a little deep in this race, because I don't really see any horse that jumps off the page like the horse you have on top, and I also have on top. The ticket is 0 for 22. What about number 7, Indie Artist?
He's another that's come close many times but just hasn't been able to get it done. He's 0 for 16, finished 3rd behind Drimmer last time out, though he was second just ahead of Drimmer 2 starts back. He is going to be sitting closer to the pace, though, than Drimmer, so he's going to have the jump. We'll see who gets the win today.
Well, let's go back to the turf for race number 8, 7.5 furlongs. It's an allowance optional claim at 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $62,500. Scratch the 3 Bluegrass Single. Also scratch the main track only, number 8, Social Request. And we want to go back and show you performance. I guarantee you, no, I almost guarantee you, because you can't guarantee everything in horse racing, that Joe's Blazing Aaron is going to be somewhere near the lead in this race coming up.
I think that's a pretty good assumption there. I'd put money on that one, that's for sure. Let's take a look back at the 8 Miles East Stakes. This is from August 8th. Joe's Blazing Aaron, he had the lead this day. I think he will again today. As Ron said, he's going to get caught in this race, but I thought he was pretty gritty here. He's just going to get caught by Golden Rifle, who's a very nice horse, going to run in a stake here tomorrow, and he's on the top of my ticket. I'll give you a preview there. This race was at 1 mile and a 16th, and you see Golden Rifle just gets by Joe's Blazing Aaron. I think he's going to really love the turn back to 1 mile today.
Yeah, and in this particular day, the turf course was not playing to speed, and we just mentioned the last race, or a couple of races ago, that speed has been better on the turf course today. So it sets up perfectly for Joe's Blazing Aaron at this 7.5 furlong distance. But I'm going to go with the 4, Tap It Off in here, and I'll tell you why. Perfect 2 for 2 on the turf since returning from the layoff. Turns back to 7.5 furlongs. Perfect late running style needed to capitalize, and I believe is going to be a mad scramble for the early lead. I think there's going to be horses going up and challenging Joe's Blazing Aaron. Mike Trombetta, strong finisher. Eddie Castro in the saddle. This is strictly a pace play. I think that they're not going to let Joe's Blazing Aaron get an easy lead, and maybe this horse could come from off the pace. Getting a little bit of a price with this horse, so I figured why not take a shot and go with the 4. But believe me, you cannot leave Joe's Blazing Aaron off your ticket. And a good friend of ours, a horse that we really like, we both have on the ticket. Well, you actually have him in 3rd, and I have him in 3rd too, and that is the 7 Rizwan. So before we get to him, let's hear about Rompin' Reed.
I think this is a horse with some back class and a horse that's really on the rise. He's rounding into top form. This is a Medaglia d'Oro colt. He was 3rd, only beaten 3/4 of a length in the off-the-turf, the Vid Stakes on September 5th. That was off almost a 2-month layoff. He really ran some strong races on the turf course during the championship meet. He was only beaten a neck by the Grade 2 stakes place Amen Kitten back in December, so I thought at 8-1, this is a nice little value to sneak in there, and you could get a piece of this. But as you mentioned, I'm a fan of this horse. I know you're a fan of this horse, and he's as game as anything.
Yeah, he's a hard-trying 3-year-old, really. He's the son of Silver Tree. He's going back to the turf. Here's what I like about him. He's had 9 races on the turf with 4 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd, coming within a neck of winning the rained out the Vid Stakes, going 1 mile and a 16th in the slop. This horse always runs this race. That's why I like him. He's a hard-knocking campaigner, and I would not be shocked at all if this horse, if this horse could carve out a nice trip. And Joe's Blazing Aaron. A lot of times when they say, "Oh, no way they're going to let this horse go on the lead," he gets on the lead. This horse is the horse that I'm afraid of. I wouldn't leave him off any ticket, any multiple wager ticket at all.
Absolutely not. I think his best distance might be a mile and a 16th, and he is facing older horses, but still, he is just all heart.
Let's go to race number 9, 1 mile maiden claimers, 2-year-olds, $35,000. 9 runners in this race here. We want to go back and show you the horse that both Katie and I have on top of our ticket, Woodburn. And this is a race from August 20th that we finished second to a really nice horse.
He did finish second to a very nice horse. We might be showing you the past performance here of the winner more so than Woodburn, but it certainly flatters this horse. This is a gelded son of First Dude. He is going to get back on the main track today, get blinkers added, and run for a claim for the first time. He did this, finishing second to Adrian's Warrior, very highly regarded from the Michelle Nihei barn. And I just think if he runs anything like this, he doesn't have to contend with a horse like Adrian's Warrior. Came on very nicely, and I think he's perfectly spotted today.
Yeah, $35,000 level. I think the drop is going to be perfect for me. In second, I used the number 2, Kid's Kid. This one is stretching out to a mile after a useful 7-furlong debut in which he stalked the pace, and he faded late. I remember watching this race, the trainer Angel Pena Jr., Eder Martinez in the saddle this afternoon. I thought this horse ran better than it might appear on paper, so I thought I'd add it to my selections in here. 15-1 on the morning line, and I think a horse like this could move forward off that last performance. And I kept looking back. I might have picked this horse, as a long shot or something in there. Something drew me to it, and I went back and looked at the replay, and I just think there's some upside in this horse and can run well against these $35,000 maidens.
I love the price. 15-1. Can't get much better than that. I used the 6 in second. That's Bohemian Soul. 6-1, not bad, though. Nothing like 15-1 here. I thought this colt showed a real marked improvement when dropping from the $50,000 maiden claiming level last time out. He was third, just 3/4 of a length from second. I think he can continue to move forward as well. But outside of Woodburn, I think the race is wide open.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, we got 3 on top, but everything else we're different on. The other horse I used was the number 5, Grand Identidad, and this one is dropping, stretching out, getting the services of leading rider Tyler Gaffleone after showing some late interest in his $50,000 debut, going 7 furlongs. It was on a sealed sloppy track, but it was just 7 days ago.
I'd ask you to say that name again, but I have to say Faborg Marigny, and hoping I'm pronouncing that one right. This one, not necessarily bred to go a mile as a son of Wildcat Air, but his running style suggests that he should be well suited to this mile distance today. He's also dropping from the $50,000 maiden claiming level.
Let's wrap up the day with a full field of turf runners, 1 mile claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $10,000. Scratch the 8. Giselle Mabel, and please note that the number 11, who's 3-1, is getting in this race off the also eligible list. I did not use him on my ticket, but make sure you go back and look. This horse, looks good to you. You make sure you use him on your, your super high 5 ticket, whatever it is, because 3-1 in the morning line means he has some, a chance to run well in here. With that said, both Katie and I went with the 1 Starship Jody.
I think regardless of whatever horse gets in this race, you're still going to want to put Starship Jody on top. She's seeking her 3rd straight victory for Steve Dwowskin today, and she's defeated much of this field before. Just seems to be in good form and should sit the trip. Her running style is very versatile and adaptable to the way the pace plays out. And I found this interesting. Steve Dwowskin, 20%. It's one of his strongest statistics with horses that won their last start in turf claiming races.
Well, number 9, Defying Gravity, certainly lived up to her name last time out when she recovered from a bad stumble at the start to finish 3rd behind current nemesis Starship Jody. So the jockey Ed Garzaez handles this filly well. If you look back, he rode it to back-to-back victories a little earlier on, so during June. So this horse, he knows how to handle it. Had an excuse last time out. I think you got to have this, and I'm glad to see you have it on the ticket. In 3rd, I had it in 2nd. We both closed it out with the Starship theme, and you went with Starship Shorty.
Well, quickly, Edgar Zayas and Jose Pinchin, they teamed up again for a win yesterday.
Right.
They paid a pretty nice price, so definitely want to have that one somewhere. Starship Shoddy, every time I say this horse's name, I feel like I should be on MTV or something. It just doesn't feel right. But this one, another no Starship, Jody Well. They've traded places in the winner's circle very often. A 5-time winner at the distance and exiting a 3rd-place effort at this level.
Yeah, you put the key there. 5-time winner at the, a turf winner can jump up and I think can beat these horses on any given day. So a very competitive final race on the card. Not making it easy for you super high 5 players. So good luck with all your selections today on the Friday card. And we're going to turn it over to track announcer Pete Aiello in just a minute or so, and he'll update you on all the scratches, changes, unpublished workouts. Anything you need to have a good day at Gulfstream Park, you look to Pete Aiello because he straightens it all out for you.
Everything you need, dining destinations, what to have for lunch, he's got it all. You'll get it in just a sec. Enjoy the day, everybody.